Hey there, well, welcome back. This is Tom Buford of the Interview Series Formula, and this is the core content for Module number 1. Hopefully you went through the overview video that covers the material, kind of the general outline of what we're going to be covering over the next few weeks, and how to get the most out of the Interview Series Formula. So in this module, we have to start talking about selecting your best-selling interview series topic and title. Obviously, you can't go any further until you come up with a good topic and a good title. Okay. Now, the best topic is going to be one that you're excited about. Okay. I don't want people to overlook this. I think a lot of times people they only think about the money and what they can, can I sell this? Can I sell this? Can I sell this? That's very important, but you've got to be excited about it. This has to be something that when you're talking about it, if you're involved in social media, or you're inviting somebody to be an expert guest, one of your guests, you are excited about it, or else you won't get them excited about it. So I do recommend that when you're selecting a topic for your interview series, and this would be relevant if you're creating an information product, starting a new website, anything, you've got to be excited about it. Number 2, either you have experience with it or you want to learn more about it. So you can come into this with a good deal of experience, or you can be using this to position yourself as somebody who's an authority and gain the experience throughout the interview series. And let me tell you, when you're doing this interview and people are listening to these interviews, it's what I call expert by association. People will look to you as an expert because you put this together. And clearly at the end of it, you're going to know a heck of a lot of information on this topic. And then the third thing to consider here when you're selecting a best-selling topic or your topic is that does it have an eager market willing to invest in the solution? So you want to be excited about it, and you want to make sure that there are people out there that are willing to invest in the solution. And the reason I say this, I know if you're creating an interview series, doesn't mean that you're selling that interview series, but you want to be building a relevant list or community. Or a community that is relevant to your core offerings. So you want this to be in line with whatever it is that you want to sell. If you're going to be selling coaching or other information products, is this in line with that? And is there an eager market out there willing to invest in the solution? And I'm going to go into some details about how you can figure that out during this module. Now, when you're creating your topic, you want to clearly define the what and the why. So what are they getting and why would they do this? Why would they participate or listen to this interview series? You want to package results, not methodology. So you don't want to let people think that they're coming into, listening to these interviews so they can get coaching. Okay? You want to define what it is that they're going to get when they're done listening to these interviews. What's in it for them? And start thinking about that when you're coming up with your topic. So what would be a result of somebody listening to this interview series? What would they get after they get done listening to this interview series, right? So package results, not methodology. Be clear about the outcome that they can achieve. And again, this is information that I share when people are creating information products, but this is very relevant to an interview series. I think people think that, well, I have something free, everyone's going to sign up. That is not the case. In some cases, actually, it's more difficult to get people just to sign up. Because you've got to be clear on why would they give their name and email address. People are a little jaded these days. They're very familiar with opt-in boxes and registration pages and all this, and they don't necessarily want to just give their name and email address. That's private information. They don't want to give that up for anything. It's not enough anymore to say, hey, I've got a free interview, or hey, I have a newsletter that I want you to subscribe to. You've got to be clear about what are they going to get if they sign up. So it's one thing to say, yeah, I've got a newsletter that you can sign up for. It's another to say, I have a newsletter to sign up for, and I'm going to share A, B, and C, and you can achieve X, Y, and Z by reading this newsletter every week. Okay, so be clear about the outcome. And the same thing for the interview series. What are they going to get at the end of listening to this interview series? Be clear about what the series offers. And how is this going to positively change your life? It's got to be something that they want to do right now. Okay, this has to be something that they want to do now that they want to participate in. They want to give their name and email address, or they want to purchase this interview series if you're selling it. But it's got to be relevant to their current situation. So how is this going to positively change their life? Why would they want to do this now? Why not wait? Now, one thing you might have is you could have a playback page or a download page and say, listen, this is only available for the next 7 days. Now, that would make people get up and sign up for it if they think that this is something that they need in their life or want in their life. So if it'll positively change their life and they see, wow, this is going to disappear in a few days, I better sign up right now. So you're going to get them to take action. And is this a unique solution to their current problem? Is the information you're going to be getting out of your experts, and you don't necessarily know what's going to come out of somebody's mouth, obviously, but you should have a pretty good idea of what's going to be shared when you're creating this interview series. A good idea based on the questions that you want to ask, or as you're making your contact with your experts. Is this going to be faster, easier? Is it going to get better results for the listener? Is this groundbreaking information? And it doesn't have to be groundbreaking. It might be that, you know what, no one's ever created an interview series quite like this on this topic. So there might be other types of offerings, but maybe there hasn't been an interview series done on this where you're getting the collective information. You're getting information not just from one person, but from 10, 11, 12 people. You're getting this collective feedback, which makes it so much more valuable. So there are ways for you to really, really create some urgency for this, and you want people to feel like, listen, I don't want to miss out on this. So start thinking about that when you're creating your topic. Now, doing some research for your hot topic, how do you know if people want to buy this? The first thing that I would do is go to dummies.com. www.dummies.com. This is a great resource. Now, Dummies, you're probably familiar. I have a couple of their books here. I have Mobile Marketing for Dummies sitting right over here on my bookshelf, and it's a great resource. They have a lot of excellent books, but this is a big company. They do a lot of research before they hire their authors. So they've done research for you on certain topics. If you see your topic, at least your general topic there, they've created a book on that topic, you can feel pretty certain that there's a big market out there for that. Okay, then it's just kind of narrowing it down and really finding that niche where you're gonna fit in there and come up with something that's really, really juicy, that's going to get people to sign up to listen to your interview series. But Dummies is a great place to go. Let me back up here. And all you would do is, when you go to dummies.com, look to the upper right-hand side of the page, and you're going to select Store. There's just a tab up there that says Store, and that's going to take you to this page. Okay, so right up about, I think it's right about here, you'll see a tab, or I think it's over here. When you go to dummies.com, you'll see Store. Click on Store, and what that'll do, that'll bring you here to their main store. So you're going to get to see all of these topics. Here's a list of all their topics. And then you can select, maybe you have an interest in creating an interview series on fitness or on education. Maybe there's a craft or hobby you're interested in, sharing information on, or cooking, entertaining, computers and internet, business, investing, careers, all sorts of different things here. So you can select that, and then you can look at the specific books that they have created. And if you see something on your topic, in other words, you go in here and you see, well, they've created a book on mobile marketing. Well, mobile marketing is hot, hot, hot right now. So you know that you can get people interested. You just have to find, those little triggers that are going to get people to sign up for that. What's going to make this a little bit different? The next thing that you can do is go to amazon.com/books. So Amazon.com obviously is an enormous marketplace. They sell everything under the sun. But when it comes to information, there are two resources. The first is their book selection, of course. And when you go to Amazon.com/books, you'll come to a page that looks like this here. And what you can do is you can select books by category. And you can go in here and you can find books that are popular, because you can sort it by most popular. So that'll give you a pretty good idea, give you some good ideas about creating your interview series on specific topics. Okay, in other words, I'm really encouraging you not to just come up with something out of thin air, but go to these big companies that have millions and billions of dollars behind them, and use these resources. Find out. Go to Amazon.com and find out, what are people buying. You can go up here to bestsellers. And there's also a tab in here. You can't see it from this page, but there's a tab in here. You can see the most, I forget what it's, the heading is, most requested, I think. So when people, you can put in there that you would like, this book, I'd like someone to buy this for me as a gift. Okay, so someone can see that you selected that as a gift item or suggestion. So you can find out what is it that people are asking for, what do they want. But I think the most powerful thing is what's actually being bought. So you can look at bestsellers. Now you can also go to Amazon.com magazines. So while you're there, shoot over to the magazine section. Again, very tough to have a successful, profitable magazine. And if you see one there on Amazon.com, pretty good bet that's a hot topic. So very similar. I'm not going to get into detail here. This is very similar to the books section. But again, these are just resources for you to come up with ideas. If you're going back and forth between a couple topics, this might help you narrow it down. If you don't have any idea where you're starting, this would be a great place to go and get ideas. And if you have an idea, go in here and find out, is it listed here? The main thing I tell people, if you have an idea, you have a topic that you want to create a product on or a website on or an interview series on, as long as you know that you can find that marketplace, you're probably in pretty good shape. But that doesn't mean that they're buying. Okay? That doesn't mean they're buying. That's why I like to go to dummies.com, Amazon.com, and find out, what are people buying? What are topics that people are investing in? You can also go to AdWords.com. This is a Google company, a Google resource. This is what's called a keyword tool. If you go to AdWords.com, you'll come to a page that looks like this right here. And you don't need to sign in with your Google account. You can just go right here in the center of the page, and it says Get Keyword Ideas. When you do that, you're going to come to another page, and up here on the left, you'll select, or you will enter, a topic. So I put in here as an example, how to train dog. Okay, there's a lot of people that create products and programs on how to train your dog. So I just put that in there out of curiosity to see what would pop up on Google. So what this does is Google aggregates all the searches, and they will tell you how many searches, how many times somebody searches for a specific phrase in a given month. So over here you can see how to train dog. How to train dog was searched for 110,000 times in a month. How to train a dog. But the cool thing about this is that this can give you some other ideas. So you might put in something relevant to your topic, and this might pop out some other ideas, and you might see, wow, there's actually a lot of people searching for this over here, obedience training for dogs. A little more specific. Now, there's only 10,000 people a month, but that might be a big enough market. So now, instead of just how to train a dog, why don't I do something when I'm coming up with my topic or my title, obedience training for dogs, or potty training for dogs. Okay, and this might seem a little bit silly, because potty training for dogs, whatever. This is just an example. So it shows you how it spits out some ideas and suggestions for you, and you can see the numbers here, how many people are actually searching for that. When you're talking about very, very broad terms like training dog, there's no how-to in it. I don't know what people are searching for in that. There's 1 million searches for that a month. That, I kind of ignore those real broad terms because there's nothing specific to that. So I'd rather something that is more actionable with how to, or something like this where it's potty training a dog. And, that could be your series. I'm not saying that you're going to be doing a series on how to potty train a dog, but you get the idea. Something kind of fun. And it was just a pretty random search. I just popped that in there, and this is what I came up with. So you can see how to use AdWords.com. The next thing that you can do is survey. Send a survey out to your list, to your marketplace, to your social media folks. You can go to surveymonkey.com and create a free survey so that you can collect results. And do not worry about their paid service. You don't need it right now. You can collect as many as 100 results with surveymonkey.com. It works very well. I've used this for years. And it's an excellent way to go out there if you have a list. If you don't worry about it. You're not going to survey anybody right now. But if you do have a list and you want to find out, hey, I really want to narrow this down here, find out what you people are interested in, what you guys really want to get more information on, Send out a survey. Let them tell you. So those are some ways for you to get your ideas going. So you can send out a survey to your existing email list, your social media contacts, past and current clients. Okay? So to recap, researching your hot topic, you can use dummies.com, amazon.com/books, or just go to amazon.com, amazon.com/magazines, adwords.com, and SurveyMonkey. Send a survey to your list. Now, here are some additional ideas. So if those don't work, now I'll be honest with you. I recommend that you stick with one of these when you're doing the research. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't get lost in all of this minutia. Don't, there's the term paralysis by analysis. So don't analyze this to death. If you find that, I'll be honest with you, if I had a topic in mind and there's a book on that topic, or I can find a specific book that has a real nice well-defined niche in that general topic, and that was the idea that I had, I'd probably just run with it. They've already done the research. If it's something that you're excited about, go with it. Okay? Again, as long as you know that you can find your marketplace, that you know that people are out there buying, then you should be in good shape. But here are some additional ideas, because sometimes I know people say, hey, Tom, I want a little more help with this. So you can send a short email to your list. This would be similar to sending a survey, but you don't have to take the time to put a survey together. Just shoot out an email. The thing with this is you're not going to be able to look at numbers. You're not going to be able to tabulate the responses in the survey like you can with SurveyMonkey. But if you're willing to take the time, you will get very specific feedback from people, because they will type in exactly what they're looking for, and you can get some great ideas from people. Go to your inbox. Okay? If you've been coaching or training, doing what you're doing for any period of time, you've probably been getting questions from people, whether they're colleagues, whether they're clients, current clients, past clients. What have they asked you for? What are some questions that have come up over the years or months? Ask your colleagues. Go out there and ask some other people who are very successful, some people that you know, maybe through social media, maybe an association, maybe they're friends of yours, and find out, hey, what's selling? What's hot right now? What are people asking for? Social media. Don't ignore social media. If you have followers on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, go out there and ask them. If you have a couple different topic ideas, you can survey it. Have people just do a very informal survey. Hey, I just want to get people, I want to get your feedback on these two topics. Which one do you like best? And let people tell you. You can also go to clickbank.com. Clickbank.com is a place where you can actually find other people's products, and you can promote them as an affiliate. But you can go in there and you can search for popular products. So what is selling? And very similar to going into a place like Amazon, where you have a list of topics, you can do the same thing with ClickBank, but these are actual products that have been sold and other people are selling. So if other people are selling it successfully, then it's probably a pretty good bet that's a good topic, right? And popular blog topics. Now, I just went in and did this recently. Technorati is it's a plugin that you can use with WordPress blogs, and maybe other blogs, I'm not sure, but I know you can use it with WordPress. But you can go to technorati.com/blogs/top100. And this will give you the top 100 blogs rated by Technorati. So they tell you what they have seen as the most popular, most commonly fed with RSS feed blogs on the internet. So this can give you some good ideas too. What are people tuning into? What are people reading? All right. And last but certainly not least, what do you want to learn more about? What is it that you are just itching to learn more about? And again, that will get you excited about it, and you're probably not alone. Just make sure, though, that there is a market out there looking for what you're putting together. Okay? It'll be very lonely when you go out there and you've got a topic and you think it's great, but there's really no one interested in that. There's not a lot of people blogging about it. People on social media aren't real interested in it. You're going to have a hard time finding experts, and you're going to have a really hard time, obviously, selling it or getting people to sign up for it so that you can build your community. But if you can combine passion with profit, so if it has a market and it's something that you want to learn more about, run with it. Okay? Run with it, get excited about it, and get it out there. Now, here are some no-brainer topics. Does your product help your clients to do the following? Any of the following. Improve their relationships or sex life. Does it help them improve their health or well-being? Can they make or save more money with this information? Will it help them improve their spirituality? These are tried and true topics that people have been investing in for, well, centuries. So this is, these are just what I call no-brainer hot topics. So if your topic is related to any of these, now, of course, you have a lot of competition. If you're trying to create an interview series on health and well-being, on weight loss, something like that, well, that's, it's pretty competitive. There's an enormous market. So then all you need to do is just kind of narrow that down a little bit. What is unique about your particular interview series? What's going to make it different? Now, selecting a hot title is similar to selecting your hot topic, but there are a couple other things that I want you to consider. When you're selecting your title for this, very important, don't create some ambiguous title. Don't try to come up with something that's so cute nobody gets it. Right? So you want people to listen to the title and immediately get it. Now, often what you're going to do, you're going to combine a title and a subtitle. Your subtitle is going to be where you're going to get into more specific, be more specific about what that interview series is going to do. Your title can be a little, you can get a little cute with it if you want, but make sure that you don't play around. You want to make sure that that subtitle explains what people are getting. And remember, you don't have much time to explain this to people. If someone's popping on your website, they're seeing an email, or you're trying to invite a guest, you've got to get their attention quickly. So don't be ambiguous. Be descriptive of the outcome using a great subtitle. So your subtitle can do a lot of heavy lifting for you, so it can really kind of narrow down exactly what it is that people are going to get when they listen to this interview series. Be bold. Be bold. Don't be afraid to be bold and get something out there that's going to really grab someone's attention. Otherwise, no one's going to sign up. No one's going to be interested in taking part in this interview series. Don't be afraid to brag. If this is something you feel, man, I'm going to get great results from people, this is going to change people's lives. This is going to be the best thing that they've had in their life ever. Okay? If you really believe that, you have that conviction, get it out there. Don't be afraid to brag. Get excited about it, and you'll get other people excited about it as well. Okay? Now, remember, even though you can be sharing this interview series for free, you have still got to get people excited. Again, I see so many people, they put something out for free and they're like, well, I didn't put much thought into the title because it's free. And they wonder why people aren't signing up. You have got to get people excited about it, even if it's for free, because it's really not for free. If someone has to give their name and email address, that's personal information. You've got to get them excited about it. You have to give them a reason to share their personal information, even if it's free. Okay? Now, also when selecting your hot title, consider using numbers. Numbers intrigue people. It shows specificity, and it just helps kind of bring things to life. You're selling something it's really not anything that people can touch or feel or grab. There's no measurement on this per se, and you don't want to sell the number of hours in this. That'll just overwhelm people. But use numbers, the number of people that you've interviewed. Now, I've got a couple examples I'll show you here in a second. Remove the fear. You might want to include, you can do this in any economy, even if you're a complete newbie, strategies that anybody can use. Use that verbiage in your description, in your title, so that people aren't apprehensive. So they look at that and say, okay, well, if I can do this in any economy, maybe they're struggling for them. But let them know, in any economy. Okay? Remove those barriers. Now,
charge what you deserve. So this would be an interview series for Charge What You Deserve. This is the first interview series that I ever did was the Charge What You Deserve expert interview series. So Charge What You Deserve. 12 six-figure service providers share how they can charge more than a brain surgeon and get it. Now that's going to get someone's attention. And frankly, I would say that in my first interview series, might have been one or two exceptions, but every single person that I interviewed in that interview series made much, much more than most doctors, even than neurologists or brain surgeons. And that's no joke. These are people that were billing out tremendous hourly fees
if you could even hire them by the hour. And they were getting it. And they went into detail about how they got where they are because they didn't start off there. So, be bold with it. And here's something too. You want to create a good title that's going to grab someone's attention and a really good hot topic. When you're inviting your guest, you might only be sharing the topic at this point. So let them know what the topic is. But again, you want that to grab their attention because the title might change. And that's okay. You can change the title. You might look at this and get done with this interview series and say, wow, I came up with something better based on the information that I got. This is really some cool stuff. So I'm going to change the title. So don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to change the title. Even if you come up with a title and you tell your experts, you can change the title. They're not going to care. As long as you're not changing the way you're positioning this, if you told them this is what I'm doing in this interview series, then you need to stick to that. But in general, your topic is going to be the same, right? Obviously. But that title might change, and that's okay. Here's another example. And I just came up with this. This is Super Success Strategies, 120 years of practical business wisdom from today's top entrepreneurs. So let's say you're interviewing 12 people who had at least 10 years of experience in their respective businesses. Then 120 years of practical business wisdom from today's top entrepreneurs. I think, personally, that's going to grab someone's attention. And that took me about 30 seconds to come up with. Okay? So it's going to be grabbing someone's attention. And then the super success strategies, that's not real specific. So I wouldn't just stick with that. I want to narrow it down and let people know this is for entrepreneurs, or at least business wisdom from today's top entrepreneurs. And 120 years of practical business wisdom. So you wouldn't know that number until you got done interviewing your experts to find out how long they've been in business. And then you can add those numbers up. There you go. Okay, so those are just a couple examples, and I'm sure I work with people that are much more creative than I am, so you'll probably come up with a much better title than I can come up with. But I just want to give you these ideas, give you some examples to move forward, because this really is a very important piece, obviously, of creating your interview series. You've got to come up with a topic and a title that's going to grab people's attention, but also one that you're excited about. That's absolutely paramount. You have got to be excited about it. And when you create a really cool title and topic, you're going to stay excited. Okay? And you want that enthusiasm to really get out there so it really becomes contagious. So the action steps for this module. Number 1 is select your best-selling topic. Are you excited about it? Is there an eager market willing to invest in the solution? Remember, you might be giving this interview series away, that's fine, but at the end of the day, you've got to start making money in your business. That's what this is about. Don't create a topic for your interview series that no one wants to invest in. So think about this. Think, you know what? I could sell this for $200, but I'm going to give it away for free. That's what you want to be thinking with this. I could easily sell this because I know people are out there, they want to buy it, but I'm going to give it away. And I'm going to gain everybody's trust. I'm going to build a great relationship within my community. And then when I have something to offer, they're going to be very receptive. So when you're selecting your topic, are you excited about it? Is there an eager market willing to invest in the solution? Decide on your hot title. Okay, so I want you to do all this week. Remember, we're going to have a Q&A call at the end of this week. But is the outcome clear? Does your title, does it describe the outcome? And I know, I told you can change your title, but I still want you to be thinking about a good title. Don't let this prevent you from moving forward. You have to have your topic before you can start inviting your guests, or you'll never get anybody to agree to do your interview. Okay, so you've got to have your topic. But your title can change a little bit, but start thinking about it, and you might come up with one that's a winner right out of the gate, or it might take a week or so. No problem. Is it going to stand out? In other words, there's a lot of information out there on the marketplace, on the internet, everywhere. There's so much information. It's actually overwhelming. So is this going to stand out? Is that title and topic going to grab somebody's attention and make them stop what they're doing and enter their name and email address so that they can learn more about it? Okay. The third thing and final thing to do this week is set your launch date. Okay. Now, I recommend from this point, maybe you set a launch date that is 6 to 8 weeks out. Okay, I'm going to be with you here for 8 weeks, so you've got plenty of time to come back to me, but I would like to see you get the interviews going well before the end of this so you can get my feedback, so you can get my support while you're creating this interview series. Very important. Don't wait until week 9 before you do your first interview. Get it out there. Set that launch date and be aggressive, be realistic, but be aggressive with this. Say, you know what, I can do this. And listen, folks, this doesn't take 40 hours a week to do. This absolutely does not take 40 hours a week. You can create an interview series over the next 2 months. You could spend maybe 4 to 5 hours a week, and some activities are going to take a little bit longer than others, and of course there's the time doing the interviews. But you don't have to spend a tremendous number of hours doing this. You can certainly do it in the evening, on the weekends, a little bit here during the week, but set a date, put it on your calendar, circle it, and I think that was the next bullet point here. Yeah, mark it on your calendar and stick to it. And if somebody says, you get 4 people who agree to do an interview series and you set a date for August 10th, I'm just throwing that out there, I'm not even looking at my calendar, but say you set the date for August 10th, and you get somebody that comes along and says, Joan, I'd love to do this interview with you, but I'm not available. I just don't have any time in my calendar until, October. Don't hold off for that one interview. Schedule that with them and say, listen, I'll tell you what, I'm going to be done with the interview series because I'm sticking to the date. I've already committed to the other participants, the other experts, the other guests. So I have to honor that. But I would love to interview you, and I can create, that interview. I can turn that into, bonus material, or I might be starting a new interview series. So I'd love to do that. So let's put that down on the calendar. So you can go ahead and do that. And it can be a supplemental interview, something like that. So don't lose that interview, but don't move it around for one person. Okay? What that would do is give you a great opportunity to create a second interview series. And after you've done the first one, the next one's going to get even better. Okay? So mark it on your calendar and stick to it. I'm not saying things aren't going to come up and you might have to bump it a week. That's okay. But really try to stick to it, because the idea here, and I'll get into this in more detail when you're contacting your guests, is you want to let them know, listen, I'm going to be doing a promotion for this, so I want everybody to be sending out a minimum of 1 email to their community. And here is the window, and you give them a window so they can set it on their calendar and see if that's going to work or not. Okay? And there's some flexibility in there, and I'll share some ideas so that you can do it and get as many yeses as possible. All right? So those are your action steps for this week. Select your best-selling topic, decide on your hot title, and set your launch date. Now, in module number 2, we're going to cover 15 ways to find your guest experts, the best resource for your teleconference line, and I'm going to walk you through all the details about creating your teleconference line, the ideal number of interviews, 3 tricks to pre-qualify your guests. I'm going to give you a couple strategies that I use to find out whether these people are building a list in the first place. Be sure to show up for this week's live Q&A coaching call as well. This is very important. Please show up and ask questions if you have any questions. All right? It's a great resource if you use it. If you don't use it, well, you're not going to get anything out of these live Q&A calls. Now, these are, I'll be sending you the link to the call and letting you know the dates and everything, of course. But this, if you can't make it live, go to the link that I send you, and you can submit a question ahead of time. And I'll answer that question. I'll see that. And you can submit that question a week ahead of time, and I'll see it when I show up on the call. And then I will answer that question, and then you can just listen to the playback. Okay? And that is it for module number 1. And again, be sure to look below this video and grab the resources below. Download the PDF of the PowerPoint presentation and any additional resources. That's it. This is Tom Buford. And once again, welcome to the interview series formula. I want to congratulate you for being here. I hope you're excited. I'm excited because creating an interview series is just fantastic. It's a lot of fun. It's work, but it's a lot of fun. And it is something that can really, truly build your business faster than just about any other thing that I can think of. And do it in a real positive way, because you're giving, okay? You're giving not only to the community that you're building by giving them great information, you're also going to help your guest experts build their list and establish themselves with an audience of new people. All right? And again, I'll go into all of these details later. So just take this one step at a time. And this week, focus on selecting your hot topic, your title, and set your date. And that's it. And I'll see you in the next module or during the Q&A call. Take care. This is Tom Buford. Bye-bye.